according to this recent report from the marketgrowthreports.com, luxury homes in South Florida aren't just being listed anymore. They're being auctioned to the highest bidder.
The U.S. leads the global luxury real estate auction market with a 38% share and over 10,200 high-end properties sold in 2024. Yeah, so the expectation is that this trend continues. I think in a market where there isn't a ton of this luxury product always, and I still think even though inventory is climbing, we're still in this world where inventory isn't that high and there's sufficient enough demand and buyers floating around out there looking for the right thing. And that this strategy works. I think if we end up in a market where there's this overwhelming amount of supply and demand is pretty low, the auction environment may be less interesting for these sellers. And the marketing period for these things are similar to an actual marketing period for a home that's for sale, right? So like on the MLS. So you got 3 to 5 weeks prior to the auction that it's marketed. And if the average days on market or median date, if the average days on market, like for example, right now, the average days on market in most of these cities down here are like 80 days. Maybe these luxury properties are like 100, 200, but the median is much lower than that. And so like 3 to 5 weeks is a good amount of time to be prepared to be on the market and get the right eyeballs, and then the right buyer shows up and bids on the property. And so it's a fair and interesting way to list a property and sell it and be done with it in 60 days, or 90 days, 100 days.
The Ritz-Carlton Residences is almost complete. It's 205 residences spanning 2 towers and over 35,000 square feet of amenities. The towers bring together 2 waterfront worlds, the one facing the Atlantic and the other overlooking the Intracoastal. So it's the kind of thing you would expect from a brand like Ritz-Carlton. You may also be wondering, it's like, okay, so what? Well, it's the Ritz-Carlton. It's obviously a very high-class luxury brand. And having that kind of brand in Pompano Beach could bring more global recognition and certainly immediate price premiums.
This one is unique because the towers are connected by what they call a unified resort program that merges beachside serenity with marina access, something that's rarely available in this area. All these guys are competing. There's real players here from real backgrounds, as we talked about, like Related, who's been very active in Pompano Beach, just like they are in other parts of South Florida. And this one specifically is a 32-story on the ocean side and then a 14-story on the Intracoastal side, or the canal side.
They weren't messing around. They said 35,000 square feet of amenities.
And they're expected to finish this soon. Like this is 2026 completion, which is great. And so
pretty fast. I mean, how long have they been at this? Like 2 years, maybe?
Yeah, tops. Yeah. And so we were talking about it when it first was, approved, and now they're, crossing certain thresholds. And don't forget, downtown Pompano Beach has greenlit a $2 billion 75-acre redevelopment featuring mixed-use buildings, retail space, and signature 12-block water feature, right? Yes. So they have major projects they're pushing in conjunction with the private projects that we're seeing here.
Stalled flood insurance impacting Florida real estate. Now, this pertains to the government shutdown, which has been going on for 3 weeks now. Florida's housing market hit an unexpected wall as the government shutdown is impacting the national flood insurance programs. Put it offline, thousands of home sales in flood zones came to a standstill. So that's not good. Evidently, the National Flood Insurance Program, which insured millions of American homeowners and was essential for mortgages in flood zones, saw its authorization lapse at midnight back on September 30th. So obviously, as of right now, Congress has not yet reauthorized it, meaning no new policies or renewals can be issued.
And certain HUD products where there was like loans that were HUD related, they that we're just not closing. We just like, that's it. We're just not doing it. Like, we just can't do it. So I don't know, buyer, like, let me know if you want to wait. I'm insuring a bunch of buildings for flood right now. And it's not a problem. So, but it's to your point, like this is a very Florida thing and a very South Florida thing. There's just like the alternatives, they may exist in some cases, but they're just terrible options. They're like deal killing options. Like, you're just not doing it. You're selling the house. You're not, you're getting rid of the building. It just doesn't make sense. And we've seen sellers, especially in the multifamily space, like just say like, I'm over this insurance issue. We're selling our stuff. We're moving to a different market where we don't have these crazy issues.
We have Toronto-based Great Gulf, who just got the green light to build a 31-story luxury condo at 5400 North Flagler Drive. That will be replacing the Poinsettia Apartments, a 2-building multifamily complex spanning 3 stories and 72 units built. This was back in 1966. So, hey, welcome to the 21st century.
This is West Palm Beach, so it's right on that threshold. And so I think this will be interesting. I just don't think you can beat these views. These intracoastal views are freaking sweet. We were just looking at Pompano, right? And like, just zoom out.
So much wider up there. Yeah,
just like that Pompano deal we were just looking at, Ritz-Carlton. Look at this. You're looking at, right? No, hold on. This. Look at this. This is their view, intracoastal view. Like that, I mean, that's very different from this up here. It's huge. It's just huge. So I think they have that going for them. I think you have the benefit of like, yeah, I'm sure this is trading at a slightly less premium than down here, right? And so you have that. It's really close to downtown. Going to be really nice. Going to be new. The amenities are going to be great. Yep. And so 97 residences. And you get and again, it's back to this like yacht owner thing. Like, maybe you don't care so much about the unit. I know a lot of yacht owners that don't care. And Dana said, I thought the Canadians were leaving and not investing here. Well, these guys are contrarians, Miss Dana.
It's not being let go, though, evidently. Property tax cuts in Florida. Yeah, you thought Ron DeSantis was bluffing, didn't you? I probably did, but just because I didn't know enough about it. Anyway, so what if your property tax bill could shrink or outright disappear within the next decade? Because Florida lawmakers just unveiled a wave of proposals that could reshape how homeowners are taxed statewide.
There's a bunch of different proposals, right? Yeah. Or ideas, and let's talk about them and riff on them. I haven't gone through all of them, so we're going to do this all together. How about that? Non-school homestead taxes. So homestead property taxes. So there's other stuff like this is like a Boca property, right? And so this is like the general list of taxes. So they're talking about keeping school stuff and just eliminating all these other taxes. Representative Monique Miller of Palm Bay, she's suggesting phase out non-school homestead. Again, so non-school stuff. So keep paying for the schools over the next 10 years. Okay, that sounds like reasonable too. I mean, like, all this stuff sounds great. This increases the homestead exemption by $100,000 annually during the phase out period. So they're going from what I just said, $50,000 to $100,000. What does Juan Carlos say? He says, he's another representative, exempts homeowners aged 65 and older from paying non-school property tax entirely. Shane Abbott, create a new non-school homestead exemption equal to 25% of a property's assessed value after existing exemptions are applied. Okay, well, that's the last one. Adjusts the Save Our Homes caps. Okay. Limits homestead tax value increases to 3% over 3 years instead of annually. Okay, that's cool. So if you live in your house longer, you're going to pay less taxes over time. I think some version of this actually gets done, and I think it ends up being like very watered down. move to South Florida. Like I just think it's like, okay, we're just gonna do some percentage of assessed value, or we're gonna do like, hey, instead of, which is why the 50 grand is interesting. It helps the lower income people, but the higher income people, or the people who are buying massive houses, they still get 50 grand. So it's like, it helps the poorer people, doesn't help the wealthy people as much. And maybe that's okay.
All Marky Mark bought a $37 million mansion in Delray Beach called Palazzo di Lago. That's when you know it's a nice house, when it has its own name to the estate. This is in Billionaires Row, and we're talking about an 18,000 square foot estate in the gated community of Stone Creek Ranch, which is, for people who aren't aware, one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in all of Palm Beach County, because that's how Marky Mark rolls. This new home comes with every imaginable feature: a resort-style saltwater pool, private tennis court, gym, wine cellar, and even a hidden cigar lounge. Because we don't want to show that off to anybody. But the story here goes beyond luxury real estate. Because Wahlberg had bought the home for $37 million from spec developer Aldo Stark. He flipped it after purchasing it for $26 million earlier this year. Now, bear in mind, it was also originally listed for $45 million. So I guess Mark was able to talk him down a little bit. Yeah, this is nice. 3 acres, 7 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, and a 7-car garage. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Wahlberg is a total fitness junkie, so clearly blown away by the home's wellness setup. Full-on gym, sauna, massage room that opens up to the tennis court.
We've worked in this community before. I've been in some of these homes. They're huge. They're gorgeous. It's super epic. It's a really well-known neighborhood. This is the neighborhood. There are very few that have the same clout. Not brand new, guys. Not brand new, but new, and obviously incredible. It is on, like, look at this thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Look at this thing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, the space in this home is just bananas. Look at the stone. The stone wall is like, you know how many pieces of stone that is? How many slabs? Holy smokes. Look at this, like the slabs up there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is, all right, nice wine room. I want to see this cigar
Not to
bar.
be confused with the hidden cigar room. You can't see it, though, because it's hidden. Vanilla Ice. I mean, God, we were talking about him with this project a couple years ago. So Vanilla Ice, or also known as Robert Van Winkle, he hasn't given up on this project yet. This was in downtown Lake Worth Beach. Still plans on giving life to a near century-old building, transforming it into a 14,000 square foot brewery with rooftop bar, outdoor venue, and to top it all off, a Ninja Turtles museum. Tugging at my heartstrings. What can I say? When Vanilla Ice first announced the project, few realized how much work would actually go into this, considering it's a historic landmark that had been vacant and exposed to the elements for God knows how long. Once the Gulfstream Lodge Scottish Rite Cathedral. I didn't know that. Anyway, but the brewery sits at 1000 Lake Ave. It's right across from City Hall. This was back in the 1920s when it was built. Anyway, so Vanilla Ice has been, yeah. I know he does a number of different things, so I'm sure it probably got put on the back burner. But yeah, the Stone Cold Brewery, I recall that was the original name. As far as I know, it's still happening. There are new TikToks from Vanilla Ice showing off what's the progress of it. I don't know if you've seen it. Oh, here we go. So yeah, he's back to work.
So funny. I feel like the last time we talked about this was like at least a year ago, maybe more.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it looked similar. I know he's making progress here, and this is cool, and this is great. And by the way, I'm super pro what he's doing.